Welcome to the Dancing Oracle with me, Najia. I'm a psychic medium and I normally do tarot card and oracle readings for everyone on this channel, but today I'm doing a forecast for personal year number 5. So in a previous video, I taught everyone how to calculate their personal year. Just do a really quick review. So what you do is first you have to calculate the year that you're interested in. So we're coming up to 2025. And if you're watching this video a year from now, you can calculate 2026. 2027, this video is timeless. You can use this. This is always going to run in a 9-year cycle, and it's really useful information how to calculate things. So, but for 2025, you would add 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 5 equals 9. So we're in a 9-year. You would add the birth month and the birth date, and then you find your personal year. So I have the favorite celebrity on this channel. We have Keanureeves. It's also my birthday as well. So we have 9 plus 2 plus 9 equals 20, which is personal year number 2. But if you were born 3 days later, like let's just say you were born on September 5th, then you would have personal year number 5 because the birth month, the birthday, the birth year, the current year that you're asking about would equal 5. So just go to that video. It's in black and white thumbnail. All these thumbnails are in color with the different months. And again, we are doing personal year number 5. And this is a year of change. So in the tarot, where I have my numerology background in tarot and oracle, 5s are always change coming through mid-cycle, kind of thrust upon you mid-cycle through whatever you're trying to accomplish in life. It's also, can feel there's a lot of conflict in the number 5 year, but there's also a lot of freedom. There's a lot of adventure. It's a time to embrace new experiences. Often, very often, people will start out a number 5 year with travel, especially if their birthdays are in the beginning of that number 5 year. You may already have a trip planned to go somewhere. If your birthday's toward the end of this year, you may find that your travel experiences will be happening later in the year. But no matter what, this is a year where you really want to break free from routines that no longer work for you. It's all about flexibility and adaptability to navigate this period. Remember, you just came out of a number 4 restrictive period. So if you don't know what that was like and you want to compare, if you're a number 5 year and you're new to numerology and how this works in a numerology forecast, you at least will be familiar with the kind of year you just experienced. So watch the video on what a number 4 year is. All right? Because that'll really help you understand the difference from one year to the next, okay? Because now you're going to completely be away from these routines, all right? And you're going to have a completely different way of taking care of this energy and riding with it to best serve you. So some say that people like with the number 5 are very intelligent and adventurous and have good communication skills. However, that can be in this year, like maybe you're overconfident and talk too much. That's the other side of it. But if your personal year is 5, you might experience a shift in your environment. You might even move or make changes from where you are now. Yeah, that happened to a friend of mine, actually. So that's what happened in her 5 year. Anyway, you can check on the projects you started in the past few years, especially relationships. Now, I'm sourcing this material from my experience in tarot and oracle, as well as multiple things on the internet. But there's this one person that you may want to look up. I left the link for her website, Christine Delori, because right now I'm going to source a lot of information from her. And she is a professional numerologist. And she says that the 5 year is the journey of freedom, change, adventure, new experience, and learning from mistakes. So you enter this year a 9 year cycle of freedom. This is your main cycle of freedom, but whatever happens in this year will have a lasting effect the next several years. So this is a time in humanity's journey when freedom itself is one of the most important things. This is what's going on in the planet. We have entered the age of Aquarius this year, and all the planets are shifting from water and earth signs into fire and air signs. And we're going to have Pluto in Aquarius for the next 18 years. So this has an effect on freedom. So you'll have to devise some resourceful and innovative ways to retain and expand your own freedom, whatever that may mean to you. So while you're being urged to do just the opposite, because there's forces going on to, put allegiance toward one person and give your power away, but you want to have freedom. Remember, freedom defined is freedom denied. So 5 is the number of diversity, travel, and different cultures. So whatever you're dealing with, seek a deeper understanding of what's involved. So awareness of reality is the best safety net you can have in this exciting and unpredictable, it's very unpredictable cycle. 5 is like, the number of change, chance, choice, variety, different belief systems. You'll encounter that with people and have conflicts. Believe me, that's what goes on this year. So there's sudden, unexpected, unusual things that happen this year, even physical things that manifest this year. It'll be quite an experience. So in the 5 year, you stand at a halfway point. I talked about this earlier, in that 9 year cycle that keeps spiraling back to itself. So the first 4 years are behind you already, of those 9. The final 4 are yet to come. So the events in the middle year will enable you to know the difference between the old you, the present you, and the potential you. See, you stand right here in this year of change, where change can happen. The wave is a wave of change, and you could take advantage of that. So expect substantial change in your life, or a sequence of smaller changes that will lead to a whole new way of life. But a completely new understanding of life itself. It'll be very different at the end of the year. This year will give you opportunities to turn your life around by setting off in a direction that's totally different to any you've taken before. The best way to approach this journey is with a complete change of attitude. So last year's 4 year, it was limiting and restrictive. This year, this is how this is how numerology works. There are waves and they just go back and forth. It's like the dip down, the dip up, the dip down, the dip up. So this year, after being restricted, you must focus on being limitless and free and be able to recognize opportunities as they appear. And this requires an open and adventurous mind. So in this 5 year, you got to pick and choose carefully between your various options. Take only those which pertain to your true desires and not your temporary whims. So really check in with yourself because you got to take advantage of every opportunity that presents itself this year. And there's going to be so much confusion and diversity, and it will limit your ability to focus. And this could prevent you from success. So you got to remember, check in with what resonates with you. We talked about this in the previous year, knowing what you really want. So if the numeric energies could be seen as roads or highways, route number 5 would be the wildest and the busiest. This is where all the traffic seeks a change of course, all right? So without a basic goal or a sense of direction, and we hope you laid that down in your number 4 year, accidents can occur and people find themselves in places they don't want to be. This is where that conflict, that sense of fighting and having arguments or situations you don't want to be in, all right? So you really got to keep yourself focused on the long-term road. So even the best laid plans can change without any warnings of any kind. So you'll have that this year. It brings sudden and unexpected changes. And they're fast-paced. It's a fast-paced road. It's filled with a lot of options, action, excitement, adventure. It's time to discover your true potential by experiencing things you have not experienced before. So this year is likely to be full of new people, places, possibilities. It's there for you. Any opportunity may fall right into your hands, or you may find yourself going back and forth in all directions, right? That could happen too. So as you can, you have to consider whether a particular change of course is what you want or not. You have to really decide because it's so many options. It's going to be a busy year. It's a busy year. I've seen number 5 years play out for my friends. I have 3 friends who had a number 5 year this past year and seen how it all played out for them. So courage is required, and being clear about what you want to do is required in this year. So you want to base your choices on the feelings that come from your awareness of reality and an understanding of the probable outcome of your choices. We focused on this last year in your 4 year. That hopefully you were in touch with that so that you could handle that now in this busy year. So this doesn't mean you should judge something before you have experienced it. It means that you must be aware of how one can create a chain reaction of many changes. So the choices you make have the chain reaction. So you have to think ahead. So it's essential that you know what you're feeling. You check in with yourself and your heart on a moment to moment basis. Because remember that we talked about this before, denied feelings remain trapped inside you and they deplete your freedom. They can also create illness. So you got to check in with yourself. This year, you'll be releasing all the unexpressed emotion which has weighed you down for far too long. And yes, because it is a 5 conflict year of change and conflict, yeah, some people may not be happy with it. With when you come to your senses about what's important to you, well, not everyone's going to be happy about that if they're trying to control you and limit your freedom. So, regardless of what's happening in the world, right, across the world, your own personal world, it's opening up for you now. And it's inviting you to experience it to the fullest. And this is what, you know, this year has to offer is experience. You have to receive it in order to retain your freedom. You know, there may be mistakes made, but remember, any mistake you make becomes experience when it's a lesson learned and not repeated. So you have to be kind to yourself, allow your mistakes to evolve into expertise, right? Yeah, we all make mistakes. Don't be hard on yourself if you make a lot of mistakes. You have to make conscious mistake. You have to have your consciousness involved when you make a mistake. You try to refine it, and then you get, wow, I become an expert at this. Like for one of my mistakes is not having boundaries and trying to please everyone or whatever. And I'm hoping to become an expert in um, maintaining, my power and having boundaries. It's hard when you're an empath, but I want to be an expert at that. I don't want to keep making the same mistakes, right? So any mistake that you make, you just be kind to yourself. So just like we know that the person inventing the telephone, he made he made a lot of mistakes. He was Alexander Graham Bell. He was trying to invent a hearing aid. Did you know that? Alexander Graham Bell, who invented the telephone, he was trying to make a hearing aid, but he made so many mistakes. He invented the telephone by mistake. That's awesome, right? So your mistakes can lead to unexpected changes, unexpected roads in a 5 year. So one of the biggest mistakes that you would make is giving up on something before you've given yourself the opportunity to experience it in a state of freedom without judgment. You don't always have to lose what you have in order to gain what you want. Guilt can disguise itself as fear, making you feel that way, you know? So this year, number 5 personal year, you want to become aware of the mistakes you frequently make, which tend to result in disappointment. The 5 energy will help you to finally take responsibility for your mistakes. And if you're really open to freedom and meaningful change, it will provide the alternatives you seek. So from this experience, you'll become stronger. You'll become more capable, effective. That's my kitty cat meowing in the background. Relax and impressive as a human being because you'll have learned and grown from a mistake instead of repeating it. So you don't want these to become your source of misery, guilt, and disappointment. It You just tell yourself it's not a mistake anymore. It's an experience and you're becoming an expert. Okay? So each month of this number 5 year, every month we have 12 opportunities to notice an ongoing mistake. because you will have conflict. You will have these areas that show up this year. So you get to realize and change your approach to gain a new experience. You'll soon realize that freedom is always a matter of the choices you make. So you want to loosen up, feel the freedom that exists, regardless of your external circumstance. You still have a certain freedom within you. You can think of that book, famous book, Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl, I believe. So you could look that up, because no matter what situation you're within, even a concentration camp, you have your personal freedom within you. So there's a powerful feeling that will help you to change your outer circumstances. And this vibration is attuned very acutely to your expectations, your desires from your heart. It's, number 5 year. This is creativity. This is the energy involved in reproduction and intimacy that leads to reproduction. It's that kind of year. So conception most often takes place when the 5 energy is active. Now, this is like conception of something you want to bring about, but it could also be a child. I have a friend that, yeah, she conceived and had a baby this year. So, in her 5 years. So, think about, it doesn't have to be a physical conception, but think about what you want to conceive this year. And what are you expecting? What do you believe? So this is your year to plant those seeds, and to water them. So, because without change, we stagnate. And this 5 years kind of forces you to change, because some will occur suddenly and unexpectedly, while others are initiated by your own effort. And you want to, in a change year, initiate change by your own effort. You want to consciously create, not create by default, not be forced to create, not be forced to change by unexpected circumstances, because the universe, if you don't do it yourself, it's going to make you. And you have to understand where you are so that you can prosper and experience from the experience of it all. You have to make the appropriate choices. And you got to remember, like the number 4 year, you got to, hope you learned it last year, be aware of reality at all times. These are alternatives to your present circumstances. But first, you must recognize what needs to be changed inside of you. Okay? Inside of you. So at some point this year, could be from the very beginning, you'll feel a deep need, a powerful urge for, definitely, for more freedom and spontaneity in your life. I know, I know a couple of my friends, they really wanted a change in their career and job and to give up a lot of that. One is semi-retired and the other is also semi-retired, but the universe forced that change upon her until she finds her new career. But definitely both of my friends really wanted more freedom, and the other one was out of school finally after many, many, many years, and she conceived a baby. So very, very much in line with this number 5 year. So you want to get away from old routines and do things differently this year. You got to look for new directions, right? Don't scatter your attention or spread yourself too thin though, because you got to come back to balance. You may find yourself jumping from one thing to another and not accomplish anything. So be aware of that, all right? Because what you focus on matters. 5 Okay, it's in astrology and in numerology as well. It's a very sexual, physical energy. And these areas of your life will be very much in focus this year. So indulgence is fine, but don't fall into the trap of doing too much in whatever the physical aspects. So that includes food, alcohol, drugs, gambling, recklessness, or any extravagance. So you gotta, gotta, you gotta rein in that behavior. It gives the appearance of freedom, like, oh, I could do this, I could do this, I could do this, but in reality, it's any kind of addiction is hurting you and actually making you a prisoner, that you are tied to it. So true freedom would be freedom from that. So excesses can cause unexpected reversals that will impede your progress, and you that you would be losing the flow of energy this year if you got yourself into any kind of excess or addiction. So number 5 years remind you, take care of your body, respect your body, think about self-care, healing, strengthening your body, become more aware of your physical senses and abilities, use them creatively. Get your rest, get your relaxation, love yourself, love your body, and enhance your physical comfort this year. Be aware of, the sensual nature of the five energy. Um, it is, after all, this sensuality that makes life on planet Earth possible in the first place, right? We wouldn't be here without that urge, okay? We would not exist without that urge. So remember that a person's reality is not the same as another person's reality. So honesty is essential, because freedom can't flow outside of reality. So if you have a different vision or opinion than someone else, you have to respect that and speak your truth. So, but mostly to yourself. So you want to start by being honest with yourself, and you'll see that honesty has nothing to do with rules and regulations, all right? It has to do with straightforwardness, like truth and self-acceptance. So head games, gaslighting, manipulation, all of that would backfire on you. Um, Not that you would be doing that, but you may encounter that in a 5 year. You may encounter people that you may encounter some narcissists in a 5 year. You may encounter people who manipulate you as well. So right now, compared to the 4 year, your horizons are much broader. The 5 has all the elements of being in the fast lane. So if you go in with confidence this year, with a specific goal in mind, you'll be able to relax and enjoy this action-packed here. So set your sights high and experience this change, this 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 adventure, this incredible opportunity of your own precious free will. And hit the like button. And I hope you share this video. I hope you replay it. Maybe replay it while you're doing something around the house or while you're working. Let all the opportunities that you want to incorporate in this year um, get into your subconscious. And check out, if you haven't already followed your numerology, check out your number 4 year to see where you've come from. Because there are the different energies present in each year, and check out the number 6 year. That is for the following year for you, because that'll help you navigate the various energies that are here to help you. All right, take care. I hope you have a year full of many blessings and many opportunities to accomplish your heart's desire. Thank you for joining me.